Hi, I have a Samsung TV. It's about 15 years old. You can see the model number there. And I'm going to talk to you today about when the TV just turns itself off by itself automatically and turns itself back on and the picture goes. And then this is what usually happens. While you're watching your favourite TV programme, screen freezes and not much else happens, and then it eventually turns off. So let's see what's going on here, why this is happening. So what I've done, I've removed the back of the TV case cover. There's screws all around here, down the bottom, and a couple in the middle that you have to remember to unscrew before you pull the cover off. And what we've got right here is the power supply board. So you can see this is where our mains goes in. Comes up here, and what has happened is the capacitors on the supply board, they've aged quite a bit, and you can see this one here in particular, if I focus on that, it's quite domed, it's expanded. It's this type of aging that happens with heat as well. I've actually already hoovered the dust out because there was quite a bit of dust, but they tend to swell up and expand, and that's basically what's turning the TV off. There was actually some yellow stuff oozing out of this one here, but the hoover sucked that up. So what you can do, you can order a capacitor kit from eBay to replace all of these capacitors. It's only about £8, so it's better than paying for someone to come out and fix it. I haven't actually checked these yet that they are faulty. It's just visual inspection, but 9 out of 10 times that's a probable cause. So I'm going to go ahead and replace these, and I'll let you know how it goes. So I've taken the board out. Just remember to make a mental note of where all your connectors went in. You can take a photo, but I didn't feel I needed to. And then I've got my capacitors ready here. And this is kind of like the shopping list. So 1500 microfarad, 35 volts, 2 of those. 820 microfarad, and so on. So if I do the whole lot in one go, that should hopefully help the situation. And if I really wanted to, as I'm removing these, I can actually do a check on a multimeter to see whether or not they're bad. But seeing as the board's fairly old, I'm just going to go ahead and do everything. And one thing to remember, very important when you're replacing these, there is a polarity. So you can see it's marked there, the short leg is negative and the long one is positive. So these are polarized capacitors, so you have to observe the polarity. So I've already put one in. Unfortunately I can't solder and film at the same time, but you can see the first ones went in there. I've removed this one, so that's the footprint. But what you'll definitely need is a sucker to help remove the existing solder joint, and then the capacitor comes away quite easily. So it's not difficult to do, it's just I can't show you too well. So you can see where I've removed this one. So I'll continue the process and go from there. One more thing worth mentioning, I've just took this one out, the dusty one, 1000 microfarads, 25 volts. And the replacement, it's the same, but the size is slightly different. But again, that shouldn't make a difference. That should be fine. It would still fit okay in the board. So I guess because these are manufactured by different manufacturers, then they will vary slightly. And sometimes you may find that the voltage might be different. So for example, if it was rated at 40 volts, that would still be fine, because at the end of the day, you're interested in the capacitance value being the same. So it doesn't matter if the voltage is slightly uprated, but you may notice subtle differences if you order these capacitors, but that would be okay. So all the capacitors have been soldered in now, so all that's left to do, I've put the 4 screws in on the board, so it's just a matter of putting all the connectors back. Really need 2 hands to do this, but so they all click in. Then there was this one, and there was the mains one here. And I think that was all of them. Okay, so I'm going to put the cover back on and fire it up, and hopefully that should work. Okay, case is back on. I've plugged the mains in, so moment of truth. Hopefully it will turn on.
To pick a particular date.
There we
because
go.
there is this idea that you can do it through an amendment to the fixed term payment act, which forces
Hopefully
you to pick a
that
date
should
and stick to it before
last for longer than 5 minutes.
I think that is very new.
That seems to have done the trick. If this video has been helpful to you, please like it. I'll leave the link to where I got the capacitors from on eBay in the description, and I hope you found it useful.